Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of 8 Ounces of Inspiration. And today I have this very inspiring human being, a very inspiring doctor who's with us, and he's going to talk about his life, his passions, and how he's managed to create a great work-life balance, pursuing his passion alongside his demanding career. Dr. Jitendra Singh Makkar is with us. He's a senior interventional cardiologist and electrophysiologist. He is the head of department and director of the Department of Cardiology at the Eternal Multi-Speciality Hospital, better known as EXCC in Jaipur. He has published his research work in various national and international journals. He established the first pacemaker clinic and heart failure clinic in Rajasthan. He pioneered the lead-free pacemaker and non-surgical lead extraction in Rajasthan and is the recipient of the Seva Ratna Award and the Rajasthan Gaurav Award, among many more. I'm not going to enlist the entire list of accomplishments and accolades because then my entire half an hour will go just enlisting that. So without much ado, I want to really welcome and thank you for sparing this time to be with us and to be in conversation with me. Welcome, Dr. Makkar.
Thank you, Nidhi. Thanks for inviting me. And I'm sure we are going to discuss some very interesting things in next few minutes. And yes. I'm really excited and looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start with my first question because I really want this to be a source of motivation for a lot of youngsters as well as others who are in a very demanding career, and all careers today are demanding, right? You are a doctor, and that too a very accomplished and a very busy one. And you do a lot of emergency calls, you are on your toes 24/7. And my first question to you is, did you always know कि आप doctor बनना चाहते थे बचपन से? I mean, was this the path that was in your mind, like you woke up and said कि हाँ मुझे तो life में doctor ही बनना है and the doors kept opening? Or was it something that you just flew कि चलो doctor, engineer ये options हैं, ये ज़्यादा अच्छा लगता है, I'm good in studies, and it just happened to you and then you found that this was your true calling? क्या था आपके साथ?
Yeah, you are right. When we were young, the options were doctor, engineer, and teacher. And if you cannot become anything, then you'll get a shop by your father and you have to sit there. So that was the scene. So doctor, engineer was most common and exciting professions at that time. So yes, very beginning, I realized that I wanted to become a doctor. And when I used to play with my friends, we used to play as we used to make a dispensary and some, nakli injection and all these things. And एक patient बन जाता था, एक friend, एक doctor बन जाता था. So we used to play like that. And actually then it became my father's vision and father's dream to make both of us, me and my elder brother, both of us doctors. But unfortunately he couldn't. But he's still doing well in life, but he couldn't become a doctor. And I became a doctor. So that's how it came. Yes, it was from very early childhood that yes, I'll become a doctor, and I'm really liking it.
That's great. Of course, that shows because you love it and you're so good in the profession. So, being a doctor, I always feel is the most noble profession of all. Of course, all professions, all careers are great. But a doctor is like an angel, right? Because your life is in the hands. The lives of your loved ones are always in their hands. And they have this sense of utmost responsibility and almost like a burden, right? Because you want to make sure everything goes right. आपकी लाइफ में काफी ऐसे situations आए होंगे which were very tough calls in life, right? जब कई situations पे you feel so helpless because आप OT में हैं, आपको लग रहा है कि I really want to save this patient या ये हो सकता है, but things are going out of your hands, and it also traumatizes you. I'm sure कई बार it creates setbacks, कई बार you just feel upset that why couldn't I do what, I wish I could do this, that and the other. Share कोई ऐसा challenge with us या कोई ऐसी situation जो आपके लिए बहुत emotional point रहा हो.
Yeah, there are many actually. As you said, it's a very noble profession. All professions are noble, but this in particular, because you develop a relationship with your patient, because you are a caretaker of that patient, and he remains associated with you for a long time. Because heart diseases, they last long. It's not that we treat them and they get cured; they keep coming to us. So sometimes we realize that medical science has a limitation, and obviously nobody can be immortal. Everybody has to go. But sometimes one example I can share you. One very good friend of us who developed cardiomyopathy, and when I came back from Delhi in 2008 or something, then we implanted an ICD. There's a device called ICD that I implanted for him. He stayed alive good for like maybe 11, 12 more years. But then we lost him. And before he left heavenly abode, I realized 6 months, 1 year before, that now things are slipping out of our hands. And actually, we didn't have any option. He was not a fit candidate for heart transplant. And till last moment, I was thinking what to do. But we couldn't do anything and we lost him. So, and he was not my relative, he was just my friend, but we were so emotionally related to each other. And maybe I cried more than his own son did. So sometimes you really feel helpless, but it's our duty to do our best. Being in medical profession, whatever best you have learned out of your experience and working. But there are many emotional points, and sometimes we get emotional by the gratitude patient show. जब वो पैर छूते हैं उनके बच्चे, पेशेंट खुद बुजुर्ग पेशेंट पैर छूने लगते हैं कि आपने हमारी जान बचा ली. So that time also we feel emotional, other way around.
Yeah.
So इस तरह के moments आते रहते हैं डॉक्टर लाइफ में.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing such a personal story. And I know that your wife is also a doctor, right? She's also into medical science. And so I want to ask you, when both of you are in such a committed and demanding profession, right, how difficult is it? How do you find time to spend time with each other? Or how do you balance them, especially in the early years, right? Because you're both trying to establish your careers. You both are trying to do the best. And like I said, medical profession काफी demanding रहता है, especially when you're into surgery and OT की emergencies भी होती हैं, late nights, weekends, and then you have 2 kids. How did you all manage to stay sane and to stay like normal in that period?
We try to do the balance between work and life. It is not possible. At the end of the day, I think everybody in every doctor's life, I think most sacrificed thing is the family life. That's actually the truth. And you, as a doctor, you cannot give that much time to your kid and your wife. And particularly when wife is also a doctor, one is doing day duty, another is doing night duty. So for like many years, we used to see like this only, that she's coming from duty, I'm going on duty. We are just handing over the kid to each other. And generally maid used to take care of the kid. So whatever best in those scenario we could do, we did manage. But yes, the family life gets sacrificed. But then at the end of the day, God helps. बच्चे भी बड़े हो जाते हैं, and the children also start understanding the limitation of their parents, and they know how they accommodate, and they know how to live in that atmosphere. और कैसे उनको अपना काम खुद करना है. So that
and
way.
Children are thriving. I know your daughter is in Yale and she's doing remarkably well. The second one is on her way to, one of her most desired colleges in a couple of years. So I think they are very well conditioned and very well brought up children, right? And I think somewhere it comes from seeing your parents. being so hardworking, being so diligent, and creating priorities, and value system. And definitely that shows in the way your kids have been brought up. So kudos to both of you. Whatever you did worked really well.
So it also depends, like if one of the spouses is more busy than other one takes care of. So in my case, I think my wife Manmeet did more for my kids, and she grew them up very well. I think the credit goes to her that both my daughters are doing well, and I hope they keep doing well in their life.
I think she's done an amazing job with their upbringing. And now, so there is one side of you now, the personal side, right? Which many people may know or may not know about. Most of our audiences probably, of course, don't know. So you are a doctor, very well accomplished, very busy, and very well known. And then there is a side of you which is that you're absolutely fantastic and melodious singer, right? And you've nurtured that passion, you've nurtured that skill set of yours alongside this demanding career. And that वो चीज मेरे लिए is very very fascinating, because usually when people or kids, when they think कि मुझे डॉक्टर बनना है, they think मुझे लाइफ की सब कुछ चीजें छोड़नी पड़ेंगी. I have to leave going out with friends, I have to leave going playing sports or any passion, because being a doctor, studying for medicine, or later on in life is very demanding. But you have somehow managed to nurture this side of yourself so that overall, I think you feel very emotionally well, right? Because you're managing hobbies, this, that. So, मुझे firstly ये कहना है कि your voice, and I've had the fortune to hear you personally, and it's like the voice of a nightingale. And I know mostly when we say nightingale, we refer to the singing of females. But actually, if you look on Google, which I did today, it said that the nightingale is actually the male that sings. So very correctly, I'm using this word for you, that you're a nightingale and you have the voice of a nightingale. And आप इतना अच्छा गाते हैं. You're also associated with several organizations जहाँ you lend your voice for bigger charity events, for bigger, organizational events. Tell me, how do you balance? And ये singing का शौक कब से आया?
First of all, thanks for praising me so much. I am a singer. I do sing, but I'm not that good a singer also as you think maybe. But music, see, I love music because music takes you to, and music takes you closer to God. ये एक पूजा का तरीका है. मंदिर की घंटी है, चाहे मस्जिद का अजान है, गुरुद्वारे का कीर्तन है, दे ऑल फॉर्म ऑफ म्यूजिक, एंड म्यूजिक अटैचेस यू विद द गॉड एंड इट टेक्स योर स्ट्रेस अवे. So it is a kind of yoga, it is a kind of meditation. So that's why I love this. It's not just a hobby, but it's also a very good habit to keep you mentally and physically also healthy. So that's one thing. And as far as this passion of my singing, it was since childhood again. But there were phases in my life when I was more oriented towards my career. So somewhere I missed that. For example, जब मैं primary school में था, तो I was in Hindi school. So बाल सभा जो शनिवार को, Saturday को get together for children of school, तो that used to happen. तो वहां से गाते गाते फिर 15 अगस्त 26 जनवरी को देशभक्ति के गाने गाते गाते then I started singing, but there was no formal training in childhood. Then when I was trying for PMT in my adolescence, I left singing. Then when I entered into medical college, then this very interesting thing happened, which actually took my music thing ahead. I met one of my friend, Dr. Rajesh Arora, who is a radiologist and is a professor now, and one another friend who is a very high post in State Bank of India. Is basically an engineer. So these guys used to play tabla and harmonium and do kirtan. So they also included me in the group. So 3 of us will go to Gurdwara every day in the evening and Sunday morning and do kirtan there.
Wow.
So we had lot of following there. वहाँ पे कि मेडिकल कॉलेज के बच्चे वहाँ पे कीर्तन करते हैं, तो काफी उससे वो छोटा सा एक गुरुद्वारा था बीकानेर, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट बीकानेर राजस्थान, वहाँ बहुत पंजाबी पॉपुलेशन नहीं थी. There was a small gurudwara, but then people, started getting attached with that, and good 5 years I spent there. So that was actually, it was little bit refined with the harmonium and playing harmonium and tabla. And Gurwani is totally based on classical singing, and even the ragas are also mentioned that in which rag preferably this shabad is called shabad should be sang. So that made me an atheist also. मैं पहले नास्तिक टाइप का था, because I was a science student. तो मुझे लगता था कि ये अपने मन की बात है, भगवान जो है, हमने डर के मारे भगवान को माना है, तो उस तरह का मेरी फीलिंग थी. But then I started believing in God, that there is somebody who has made this universe. So from there it started, and whatever, थोड़ा बहुत भी कोई मिठास अगर मेरी गाने में है या कहीं सुर लगते हैं, तो वो शब्द गुरबानी कीर्तन की वजह से लगते हैं. अनफॉर्चुनेटली वो मैंने अब छोड़ दिया. आई सिंग ओनली so I sing romantic Bollywood songs और गजल्स एंड ऑल दोस. कीर्तन छूट गया कहीं ना कहीं, पर बेसिस जो है मेरे म्यूजिक का वो कीर्तन ही है.
But you're catering to the audience and the likes of your customer now, who want the Bollywood and other kinds of songs. So this is good. But I think, so how do you, okay, so let me again ask this one more time. अब जैसे आप इतने busy रहते हैं, how do you still manage to incorporate some sort of a singing schedule or some events into your life? Is it on weekends? आपने schedule कर रखा है, या आपने किसी organization के साथ क्या रखा है कि चलो every Friday if you have an event, I'll take out my time and priority and do it?
Yeah, so definitely we are some friends. We have made some WhatsApp groups also. So we record and put words on WhatsApp group and keep sharing each other singing and keep improving each other, trying to criticize each other in a positive way. So we do that also. And obviously I have not made a schedule, but whatever free time I get, I dedicate it to singing. Maybe it's midnight. कभी मेरे बच्चे भी मुझे बोलते हैं ये क्या रात को 12 बजे क्यों गा रहे हो आप. मैं बोलता हूँ 12 बजे टाइम मिलेगा तो 12 बजे गाएंगे. तो ऐसे होता है. कोई और now I am invited for performances also. So as a duty also, sometimes you have to do it. You have to squeeze your schedule and do some singing stuff. But I think if I could spend more time, I could have done better in singing also. But whatever, I'm very happy that it keeps my stress away. And busy तो सभी प्रोफेशन है, पर डॉक्टर वाला जो बिजीनेस है, एक्चुअली हम वहाँ की टेंशन, जो वहाँ का स्ट्रेस है, वी ब्रिंग दैट होम ऑल्सो. Because our phones keep ringing कि उस पेशेंट को भी हो गया है, बीपी अप है, डाउन है. So we have to deal with that kind of stress. So whatever time I spend in music, that give me a stress-free time, and that is actually my time. So that way I enjoy.
That's wonderful. Yeah, and somewhere I know that both your daughters have taken the best from the parents. One has taken up singing after you, your older one, and the younger one has taken up the dancing talent from the mother. So they pretty much are sorted with one passion of each of the parents. This is something I want to share with all the audience, everyone who's watching, especially the youth. That I see so many of the youth now, जो computers पे पूरे दिन बैठे रहते हैं, they are coding or they are doing their job, and they say they stop playing cricket, they stop going out, they stop going for movies, anything, or meeting friends, and it creates a burnout in life. शुरू में तो आपको लगता है नहीं I'm making my career, but आप इतनी जल्दी burnout हो जाते हैं कि उसके बाद आपको अपनी लाइफ इतनी थकी हुई लगती है, and you stop even enjoying your work because you've not been able to create a balance by pursuing something outside of it. So it is my urge, please listen, that if he can manage it, then I am very sure that everyone in the world can manage to pursue their passion and hobby in some way or the other by contributing some amount of time within a week. It doesn't have to be every day, but whether you love yoga or dance or cricket or anything, swimming, take that 1 hour out, morning, evening, create your time effectiveness and do it. because you have to start somewhere for your own emotional well-being and de-stressing yourself, right? To kind of center yourself. Your daughter, like I said, she's in Yale. You know, your wife worked. So of course, our key family, I see there is this voice of empowerment for women, right? That they must have their own career, they must have their own path, whatever it is. Because I know your daughter is not pursuing medicine, so it's great that I can see that the family is very open to let the children figure out whatever they love doing and pursue it,
Yes, yes.
right? So it's not a thing कि हम डॉक्टर हैं तब तुम्हें डॉक्टर बनना ही पड़ेगा. So I want to ask you, आपका opinion. Why do you think it is so important for women to work and be financially independent?
Yeah. No, I think that's become a norm now, and it is being now almost every family in India, women are earning. So one thing is that they should be independent, ready for all kind of situation which can develop in the life, and obviously being this physical world being so demanding, I think if both of you earn, then you can give your children a better atmosphere, better education, better facilities. So that is one thing. I think all women should work. Why not?
Yeah, because I personally have been on this purposeful mission, right? That I feel that work should be an integral part of every woman's life or every girl's life, just as it is for a man. आपको क्या काम करना है, किस flexibility में, because of course women are nurturers, so they have to take care of a lot of other things. It could be aging parents, children, who, because that's a part of our role and a part of who we are. We love doing it. But उस balance में, but we also are gifted to be multitaskers. So हम बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं along with creating a very good professional career. So I feel that every woman must work, whether it's in social arena, whether it's in their own field of profession, or whether they want to do something, which is just flexible timing, 1 घंटे के लिए, 2 घंटे के लिए in a day, because it brings out a sense of purpose in their life. It brings out their own personal identity and who they are and what their skill sets are, which every individual has, and you have to give that to the world. Because that only you have, and I think वो सिर्फ एक working confidence से आता है, जो फिर आपको confidence देता है to be a better decision maker, to handle situations of life better. Coming to my another question, that of course you're a doctor, you're a singer. Is there any other talent of yours that we don't know and you would like to share with the audience? Something else that you do? Is it photography? Anything else?
I used to write, and I do write. If somebody follows me on Facebook, I write these 3-liners, 4-liners on contemporary topics or some romantic shero shairi also.
Very
so
nice.
Soon, by maybe 2 years went in COVID. This year I'll compile a small book, and anytime in 22 only I'm going to launch a book also.
Wow.
तो मैंने उसका टाइटल भी सोच रखा है. It will be दो रहा है दिल. Like दो रहा है दिल is a word for heart attack. दो रहा means dilemma. So दिल के जो
dilemma. Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful, and we're so looking forward to that book, to reading it and to having a copy of it, which is author signed. But coming to my last question, क्या आप books पढ़ते हैं या of course आप खुद अपनी शेर और शायरी लिखते हैं, but if there is a book that you have loved, that you've read in the past now, which you absolutely would love for your kids to read or others to read, to share the title with us, and कोई एक quotation जो you find yourself बार-बार repeating, whether it is to the family or outside, right? That's like connected to your heart.
Yeah. See, ये मेरी एक सबसे बड़ी कमी रही है लाइफ की कि मैं, because I belong to a very small town, so book reading culture was not there, and in my school, then medical college, only medical books. Actually, I saw so many books only first time when my daughter started reading them, And I started visiting with them to this books house and searching online books on Amazon. Then I came to know about so much of literature. Only some Hindi literature of Premchand and Manu Bhandari and this I used to read. बट मैगजीन्स जो भी मुझे मिलती थी, पढ़ने का शौक तो था, बट आई डिडंट हैव एक्सेस टू द प्रॉपर लिटरेचर. दैट हैव बीन थिंग लैकिंग इन माय लाइफ. बट एक बार ऐसा कुछ प्रॉब्लम आई थी कि वी वर हाइडिंग इन सम प्लेस एंड देयर वाज सम कोई लड़ाई झगड़ा हुआ था मेडिकल कॉलेज में, विद हाइडिंग समवेयर. और बच्चे थे हम, तो बहुत बुरी तरह से डरे हुए थे. तो मैंने एक लाइन, कदम भी नहीं, एक मैगजीन आती थी, आपको याद हो तो, इट वाज फ्रॉम दिल्ली प्रकाशन. अभी भी आती होगी शायद, अभी नहीं आती है शायद. तो उसमें एक लाइन पढ़ी थी मैंने कि हर मुसीबत को दिया एक तबस्सुम से जवाब, हर मुसीबत को दिया एक तबस्सुम से जवाब, इस तरह गर्दिशे दौरा को रुलाया मैंने. तो जो आप मुश्किल जो आपको रुला रही है उसको मुस्कुराओ तो वो रो देगी आपके सामने. तो वो एक बड़ा मोटिवेटिंग फैक्टर है. जब भी मेरे को, मैं मुसीबत में होता हूँ तो मैं यही सोचता हूँ कि इस मुसीबत को मुस्कुराहट से जवाब देना है. तब ये जो बुरा वक्त है ये अपने आप चला जाएगा. अगर आप मुस्कुराते रहेंगे तो बुरा वक्त खुद ही फ्रस्ट्रेट होके चला जाएगा आपकी जिंदगी से कि इस इंसान पे कोई असर नहीं पड़ रहा, मेरा बेटर लीव हिम.
I know, why waste time? That's a good
Why waste time?
I should adopt it too. आपने ये कहा कि आपको, though I would have ended at this question, but I want to continue on for one last question. आपने कहा कि जब मैं छोटा था तो मेरे पास इतने रिसोर्सेज नहीं थे पढ़ने के लिए. तो can you just give us some light on, because I think this is very inspiring, right? Because बहुत सारे बच्चे जो रूरल एरियाज में हैं या अभी भी स्मॉल टाउन्स एंड विलेजेस, जिनमें एक ड्राइव है कि हम यहाँ से निकल के ये करें वो करें. You are a very big inspirational story for them, because they would look at you as a role model कि देखो ये यहाँ से कहाँ पहुँचे. तो थोड़ा सा बताइए अपने बचपन के बारे में and how you moved into medical.
हाँ, एक्चुअली मैंने जैसे आपको बताया, एक तो हम लोग हिंदी मीडियम में पढ़े, तो जब तक मैं मेडिकल कॉलेज में पहुंचा तो आई कुडंट स्पीक इंग्लिश इन कन्वर्सेशन. आई कुड रीड एंड अंडरस्टैंड but was not able to converse in English with anyone. So slowly I developed it. And secondly, entering into medical was easy for me, but then afterwards it is important how you shape your career. When I finished my MBBS, my father said, it's fine, it's a small place, there's no educated, no qualified doctor here, you come back and start practice. बट आई सेड नहीं, कुछ अभी मैं आगे पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन करूंगा. फिर पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन किया तो देन ही सेड कि नाउ यू आर एमडी फिजिशियन, व्हाट एल्स यू वांट, नाउ यू कम बैक एंड डू प्रैक्टिस हियर. बट आई सेड नो, लेट्स डू सम सुपर स्पेशलाइजेशन. देन आई गॉट, उस समय इंडिया में 15-20 सीट्स होती थी कार्डियोलॉजी, डीएम कार्डियोलॉजी, एंड इन राजस्थान देयर वर 2 सीट्स ओनली. फॉर्चुनेटली आई गॉट वन इन 99-2000. So then, after being a cardiologist also, I did not start my practice. So if I can calculate from 1988 to 2003, I did my degrees. Then from 2003 to 2007 also in Scott's Hospital, Delhi, which was the premier cardiac institute of India at that time. There I worked for 4.5 years on peanuts, just to learn something new. And then I learned this electrophysiology you mentioned in the beginning. I'm in electrophysiology. That means that I deal with rhythm disorders, the disorders of our heart rate and heartbeat. That is called electrophysiology. So I learned that. Then I went to US for some learning, and then I went to Korea. So these all ways, there was no family support for this, other than that I entered into PMT and did my MBBS. Till then my father worked day and night very hard to survive and to give us what we need. But after that I never saw back to my family. एंड जब इंटर्नशिप में 1500 रुपए स्टाइपेंड होता था उस वक्त, when I got first 1500 rupees as my salary, I gave it to my father and I said, now your responsibility is over, now I'll do whatever I want to do. So it took me like from 88 to 2008, good 20 years to start my own practice. When I came back to Jaipur Fortis, then I started as a consultant. So 20 साल बहुत होते हैं. 20 साल में एक इंजीनियर कहाँ से कहाँ पहुंच जाएगा, उसका मिलियंस का बिलियंस का पैकेज हो जाएगा. So this is more passion what you want to do. Earning money is something different. If I had to earn money, I could open my own hospital and start doing whatever. But I never focused on earning money. I just focused on developing skills and making a name for myself and my city also, my state also. So it makes me proud when we do something first in our state and something very new in India. So.
No, because this is a profession that has to be driven by passion, because that's the only way to survive in such high stress environments and to be able to do good, because this deals with lives. It doesn't deal with the convenience or a product. It is lives that we're dealing with. So there has to be passion and dedication involved, and like you said, that it took you so long to get where you are, but today where you are is where you save lives. No matter how much money somebody may have in their bank, end of the day, their lives come to you when they need some fixing done. So yeah, but thank you so much, Dr. Makkar, for being with us today, for sharing your journey and all about your, passions, hobby, as well as your work. Really, really grateful for that. And we look forward to the release of the book. And we will put the link on the channel so that others can also access it and buy a copy of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I am a big fan of yours, and I wish that I also interview someday and know how you manage so many things together, your kids, your family, your career, and your YouTube channel and whatnot. Thank you very much for having me. I'm really nice.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.